What I want to do right now is I'm going to interview our next candidate, victim, friend, what do we call him? And this is going to be fun. So some backstory on him before we get started. So you got in the when did you get in the coaching program? Just barely.
Yeah, I think September or October.
Yeah, so it hasn't been that long. Got involved, got excited, and his boxes are for me like my favorite because every time he's like, dude, this is awesome. Oh man, and like, thank you, I feel really good. I love everyone comes through, it's really fun. But he went through, put together his first webinar, did the very first one, made a bunch of sales on the first one, and it was just like awesome. So I'm excited to kind of share his story with you guys today. So here we are. I was telling him today, like I thought this interviewing thing would be really easy. But Oprah makes it look really easy. It's way harder. And then I was looking at the videos of me on Facebook and like, I look like I'm hanging out. So I need to get more professional. All right. So to begin with, Jason, do you want to talk about, tell us about where you came from. Tell us about your life. No joking. Tell us about kind of what the business you were doing before you made a webinar and then kind of how you're using the webinar to amplify what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So what I do is I send Russell a bunch of boxes every day. And no, I actually hit him up the other day. I was like, so I'm really excited about getting in front of people and talking to them. And when you ask me what I do, I need to really have it down. Here's my elevator pitch. And he like messages me back. He's like, well, you know, it's kind of cool, but get rid of like 90% of the words that you talked about in there. So I was like, all right, cool. So what I do is I teach people who are marketers, like struggling, maybe not struggling, just how to get a lot of leverage in their business by teaching them how to outsource, get people to do a lot of the income producing activities done literally at a fraction of the cost that it would take for most people to be able to get a business off the ground. So I've been drop shipping for a long time, for last 12 months. I got started selling items, physical products on Amazon, and had a lot of success. You know, getting started last year, I was just trying to figure out a way to really get some money coming in the door from this home-based business world. I wasn't making anything at the time. I was trying to figure out, crap, I don't want to go back to corporate America. Like I was nauseous every single day. It was just not a good feeling. So figured out this thing like, oh wow, Amazon has all these people that are looking to buy stuff. So I started doing really well and getting into these communities, making lots of sales. So like I built a little bit of a following up on Facebook. And initially I just launched a coaching program back in like August. I put a post on Facebook. I said, hey, anybody want to get coached on how to do this drop shipping thing? And what it always really comes back to is outsourcing, teaching them how to get groups of people to do all the heavy lifting for them. Because one thing that I realized, let me just ask you guys a question. Who in here has a job outside of internet marketing? Raise your hand. So the majority of you guys. One thing that I realized that the majority of people, like you get home from work, right? You have to literally, you got your wife, your kids, and if you miss little Bobby's soccer game, you're in the doghouse for a long time. You don't want that. So you have to go through this training, right? You have to learn all this stuff. You get into Russell's training and there's like 7,000 hours worth of stuff to go through. So it's like you don't have enough time in the day to really ever make it through it. So my audience is really people just looking to build a business from home. And I just simplify it because Amazon has all the traffic. All we have to do is teach people how to get the income producing activities done. And we just married it together. So when I talked to Russell initially, he said, well, outsourcing is really cool, but it's kind of tricky. People don't really understand what it is. He's like, what if you just put it together and marry it together with drop shipping on Amazon? What if you marry outsourcing and drop shipping together? So like that's what I put my webinar together to do. Is marry those two together. And like I've got a really good group of people now that are all having like lots and lots of success, and it's not because I'm a genius, it's because they have a bunch of people that are doing the heavy lifting for them.
That's awesome, right? Woo! One thing I want to comment on, because this is I think super important, because one of the problems people have when they first get started, they put the whole webinar together, whatever it is, and they try to sell it and they don't have any kind of audience. I think what was cool about you, and I think about some of my other friends that have had a lot of success, one of them I'm thinking about specifically because it's very similar to yours is this guy named Jacob Hiller. Some of you guys may know him, but he's got an ebook on YouTube or on ClickBank called The Jump Manual. And like he makes like, I don't know, a couple $1,000 a day right now. And it's funny because his ebook teaches people how to jump. Like, that's it. And he never like was trying to get into business at all, but he was just passionate about something. He was sharing it, and he was making videos on YouTube and talking about it on Facebook and all this stuff. And somewhere along the line, like a year into, he's like, I should probably like make a product and sell it. And he already had this audience of people who were following him. And with you, it's cool because you're out there doing this thing, doing drop shipping, talking about it. And so you already had this kind of audience growing around you. And so when he comes out with the webinar, like there's already people there that are ready, they're excited because they want to see. So for all you guys, like, excuse me, one of the biggest things I can say is like whatever you guys are passionate about, like don't hide that. And like don't wait, I'm gonna show my passion when my product's done. Like start today because it starts all this momentum and energy and people are excited like what happened with him. And as the webinar happened, you know, there were people that were just begging to know what it was, which is cool.
Yeah, they would have bought anything probably at that point. Like, so that was a good experience, you know, to do the webinar and know that there wasn't a whole lot of pressure on. I was just telling him, it's fun after you do the webinar, your 3 secrets, right? It's a big sales pitch, but it's hilarious. Some guy messages me on Facebook. He's like, dude, I've listened to your webinar 3 times and I learned so much every time I do it. It's like, why haven't you bought? What's up?
That's cool. Do you remember off the top of your head what your one thing in your 3 secrets are?
Yeah. The one thing is how I built a $612,379.93 drop shipping business in the last 12 months, selling physical products on Amazon. And the 3 secrets is number 1, you got to get leverage. You got to get those income producing activities done every single day. Number 2 was the power of 3 will set you free. So as soon as you get 3 key people in place, you could start building down from there. Anybody here from the MLM world that ever heard like, hey, go recruit 3 people that will get 3 people, they'll get 3 people, right? So like I say, well, go get 3 people that we can pay and they'll actually do the work. You don't have to like convince them to actually get out there and do the work. You don't have to teach them anything other than like, hey, go find products and list them or go do this. So that's secret number 2. And secret number 3 is you got to have a process in place, you know? So pretty basic there. Got to have a process in place. Everybody knows that, but you know, so we just kind of covered the importance of not knowing everything at the very beginning. It's more get the process started, and once you get started, tweak it along the way because you're going to make mistakes. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. You're always going to find new ways to make it better. So that's really the 3 secrets right there.
And what's the actual offer that they buy?
A course. It's 14 modules with bonus number 1, which is no, it's a $997 course. It's a $997 course. And the first webinar, we got 11 people, which was pretty cool. I voxed you right after it.
Yeah. Is that awesome? So let's walk through that because that's exciting. So when you did the first webinar, how many people registered? How many people showed up? And then what's the kind of, do you remember the numbers off the top of your head?
Yeah. So I did 1 post on Facebook, and this was like kind of like, I guess, hitting my email list up because I don't have an email list. I'm building it now. I got 129 people to register. 68 of them ended up showing up, and a lot of them stayed on, which was pretty cool, and 11 of them bought. And then I had like another 22 that showed up on the replay.
That's awesome. Did people with the replay buy as well?
I had 1 person.
1 for the replay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I did have someone, maybe a couple, I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember if I had another person that registered or not. Maybe from that.
That's cool. And so that wasn't even paid Facebook ads, right? That was just you posting on your wall and saying, hey guys, webinar's happening, come check it out. And 120 people followed.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so got them on the email list now.
So you gonna start advertising to it next?
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this. So what are your next plans? So now that you've got it done, you've got a successful thing, you made $11,000, now you've got the model done. Like, what's your plan? How are you gonna start rolling it forward?
Driving lots of traffic first, like Liz, like 1,400 registrants. That's amazing. So that's goal number 1 is to start doing that and then tweaking it along the way. See where it's breaking down. Like what's not working. Is my message not working? Is my webinar not working? I mean, that's probably the biggest thing that I think that I'm gonna struggle with a little bit is like the average person doesn't really know what drop shipping is probably. So I have to find a way to work that into the pitch, to the webinar a little bit, to educate them to where they understand how they can combine the 2 together. You know?
Very cool. One good thing you got going is Amazon, because that's like such a big, everyone knows Amazon, which is cool.
Spent $1.5 billion in 2013. We don't have the 2014 numbers yet, but that's just in advertising.
Wow.
Any of you guys have that kind of budget? Right?
That's awesome. What questions do you guys have for Jason?
Crickets.
No questions? All right, Mike's got a question.
What sites did you go to leverage your, you're all about outsourcing, right?
Yeah.
He's a nightmare.
What I use ClickFunnels. I had all these training modules that I already had done over the last like several months. So once I got ClickFunnels, I put together a membership course for them. So I just like now. For the assistants. Yeah. To train them. So now we can just like break it up. Like, hey, this is you're in this division. Go through these videos. You're in this division. Go through these videos.
Now this is like, we want to talk about your hiring process because this is pretty dang cool too.
Oh yeah. This is I'm just building this now. So right now I just got Infusionsoft. I actually asked Russell if he used it. He's like, no, man, just too
Run
tricky.
from it.
Too tricky. So I'm a little bit of a tech kind of geeky dude. So you can use Infusionsoft to do a lot of cool stuff. So like I have it almost automated from the very initial application where like my assistant will reach out and say, hey, we have this job posting. If you're interested, apply here. So they'll opt in. And from that point forward, I have it to where almost through 14 videos from the very initial hiring process where we make them go through 3 surveys. They have to pass the surveys. And then every single test, they have to pass a test at the end of it to be certified at the end of the day. So there's 14 different processes that they have to go through that's almost automated.
Just to get a job. So that's what your problem is. You probably hired the first dude who responded. He puts them through 14 steps and quizzes and tests to make sure, and then it's like, and then if they pass it all, they get a job, or then
well, they get a job
interview
after
them.
3 surveys, but if they fail the first test, then they're gone. So I mean, they're not like overly hard, but you want to make sure that someone's got the capability of at least answering a couple simple questions, like, hey, here's a 50-minute video, go through it, and there's 10 questions that you should answer on it. So we just have that through the process, and you know, usually if they pass the first one, they'll probably be pretty good. Mm-hmm. You know, so it just gives us the opportunity to bring a lot of people on quickly, without it, and weed through them. The ones that aren't going to work out, weed through them pretty quickly, without it taking a whole bunch of time. Because I mean, I've been outsourcing for 5 years, and I've probably made every mistake in the book. I've wasted tons and tons of money on people that just don't work out. You know, so that's just kind of a culmination of over all the years. It's like, how do I make it easy to where we know someone's going to be well trained and know exactly what they need to do.
How much is you pay for your average worker?
About $1.67 an hour. Yeah.
Whoa.
So $280 a month is what they start out at for 40 hours a week. And they love it. That's the thing. Like, they love it. They're not just, you know, they're not like slave labor or anything. They're like so happy. They're like, oh my God, I have a job. This is amazing. My family loves me now. And I mean, they can take care of their family, and it's just it's an incredible feeling to know that you can change someone's life. I mean, $650. Wow, I wouldn't. Yeah. There's 2 sites. Odesk. I used to use Odesk exclusively, but they recently changed their minimum rate that you could pay. So I go to onlinejobs.ph now. And that, I actually really like that site, because like they can grade themselves, and Filipino people, like that's all I hire for the most part for like an assistant job. They can grade themselves, and they're pretty honest. They'll say like, hey, I don't know how to do that, or I'm pretty good at this. So you can kind of weed them out that way as well.
OnlineJobs.ph is cool. It's one of my friend's website, and you pay like $50 a month, and then you can hire as many people as you want. So it's like you can go through first, you can search through all the databases, you find your perfect person, and then you pay $50, you get in there, and then you can send them an application request or whatever, and then you can just contact people through that. But it's awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
And I agree with them about Filipinos, like as far, especially like VAs and stuff. I've never found good programmers and stuff in the Philippines, but like virtual assistants, SEO people, and manual labor, man, these guys, like, and they're super cheap, they work hard, they're so grateful for a job. Like for them, if they work for an American company, like they're like a king, and they're like, I don't know if you've seen videos of their house and stuff, like they'll be in the house with like 30 other people, all with laptops, all working, and if he's got a job working for an American, it's like a huge deal for them, and it's really neat. You change their lives with just a couple bucks an hour.
I give them a lot of leeway. I give them access to a lot of stuff. There's a few of them who I've even given my credit card to handle orders for me. There's not much that they can really do with this stuff over there. I mean, there's so much fraud protection in place at this point that, I mean, they've been working for me for a long time before I got to that level with them, but I'm pretty trustworthy when it comes to a lot of stuff. I mean, you can block them from being able to do a whole lot of stuff. So you can get away with I don't know. I haven't had any issues with anybody like stealing from me at this point from over there. I would probably be more concerned with giving people here in the U.S. like that information. You know, I believe that like my systems that I build are so good that I can almost plug anybody into. Like that's my thought. As long as they're capable of picking stuff up, they don't have to have any experience. But I'm only doing like data entry and like manual labor. I'm not doing programming to where they have to know how to like do actual like programming stuff. And that I'm talking to him about getting some software developed. So that's not my skill set right there. I don't know how to get that stuff done really. I'm a firm believer. I just think that a lot of us, we're our own bottlenecks in our businesses. You know, there's a lot of reasons why we don't ever get stuff done. Maybe we feel like we don't have the knowledge for it, or, you know, like I just like, hey man, if I need to learn how to get a lead capture page done, do I have a product that I've ever bought that I can plug that person into and learn how to do a lead capture page for me? You know, like that's how I've always kind of operated, and I just, you know, like if we're trying to build a business and we don't have the time, we have to find a way to get people in place. And most of us are starting at a point. I know when I was starting, I was at a point where I didn't have a lot of extra money. I mean, I was actually losing money every single day on a guy that I was paying $2 an hour, believe it or not. So like, it's just one of those things where it's like, if I was paying $20 an hour, even $10, $15 an hour, I would have been sink pretty quick. So I had to get resourceful. And that's like kind of where I ran across John Jonas, and you know, I looked at his blog, and you know, he's heavy into the Filipino people and he understands the culture, and I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So I mean, that's where I started hiring Filipinos right there. So no, I luckily at this point I have a lot of social proof, so that helps. But yeah, I mean, when you think about it, when you're giving someone like, hey, here's cash flow, which most people are struggling to get, it's like I think that I'm not even charging close to enough. You know, it's like I'd rather work with less people and help those people get cash flow than just jam a whole bunch of them up front. So like, you know, if anything, I think that one day I would like to raise the price, if anything. But yeah, I mean, I have a Facebook group which is really awesome. So one of the first steps is I try to get them to like, hey, request access to the Facebook group, because that group right there. Natasha was talking about it yesterday. Those groups, literally, they'll sell people for you, especially as you get them to ascend through the different stages of like being in your system. If you got someone that's doing really well, they'll come in like, oh, Jason's awesome. Like I wasn't doing anything and now I'm doing great. And then someone like messages me later and says, oh wow, hey, I want to get into that too. What's the deal on that? You know, so like Facebook groups really, especially if you have a good group that are active, and that really will guard you against a lot of the people who can come out and say, oh, that guy's a scumbag, you know, he's ripping me off, and you know, so get them in a group. That's one of the biggest things that helps me.
Cool. Yeah, it's funny. Like I even look back 5 or 6 years ago when I was doing stuff. Whenever we sold stuff, it always came with like a big box of things and DVD and CD, and that's how like people perceived they needed to get stuff. But like the last event we did here, remember I gave you guys all the big fat 12-month millionaire book, those who were here? I had like 4 or 5 of you guys complain because it's too heavy and I don't want to put it in my backpack, and like it's so much different now where like people like, everyone's like, I have PDFs so I can put it on my Kindle, and it's just like, so now like the perceived value is not to have a bunch of stuff. The perceived value is like members area, it's there, you can watch anytime you want, you can download, like whatever it is, like it's interesting how the paradigm shift where all you really sell $1,000 is log into a membership site, and that's the highest perceived value you can give someone sometimes.
Lead generation, probably. You could have like video creation or something like that. Something that we've done for the WooCar guys is we've done a lot of videos. If you get like a template, right? You could replace a couple key things on that template. Say, hey, I want you to replace this, this, and this, and then publish it to YouTube. You know, so you could do like lead generation videos. Obviously, you have customer service. You know, as you get customers, you want to have someone who can answer their inquiries without you having to personally do it. So I have a customer service group of people who will answer customers, and for like my business, we have people who check inventory because we don't have actual physical inventory. We use like retail arbitrage. So we're listing products from like Walmart that people might be searching for, like a 5-drawer wooden wooden bedroom dresser, right? Someone's on Amazon searching for that. If we can bring them that product, and Amazon's not currently selling that, but we can find it from like Walmart or something, we need to find someone who can find the product first. First of all, that's the income producing activity. And then we need to make sure that on the back end, that if we sell that it's actually in stock over at Walmart. That way we're not getting into issues with like stock outs and Amazon kicks us off their selling platform because we're not taking care of business. So, I mean, depends on what your business is. Obviously, you know, income producing activities, you can find ways for them to maybe get good at Facebook ads, right? You know, teach them how to target people and put together Facebook ads and stuff like that. So they can do just about anything, as long as you just know what you need them to do or want them to do.
The biggest key though, like if you don't give them, like he talked about earlier, like you have to have a system for people, because they're not the kind of people like, you're like, hey, here's a course, go figure it out and start doing it to my business. Like I tried that like 20 times, not one of them ever worked. It's got to be like, you go through the course, right? Learn the process. Here's the process, step 1, 2, and then you build out the entire system and you plug those people in, they can do it. But it can't, at least in my experience, I don't know if it's the same with you, but they typically can't just like kind of figure it out. But if you give them the system, man, they will run that system day in and day out for $2 an hour.
They'll do exactly what you tell them to do. That's the thing. If you know what you want them to do, tell them, I want you to go through this video, this video, this video, and check in with me when you're done. You know, maybe do a test. Show, hey, how do you target people on Facebook? Where do you go? What's the tool that we use? You know? So, yeah, it's just, you just have to know what you want them to do.
All right. Was that helpful, you guys, from both an outsourcing standpoint, but also to see his webinar? Yeah. All right, give him a round of applause.